QA automation, data science, and machine learning are pretty darn popular professions this year. And on this video, we will take them apart and I will explain to you what does each of those professions mean, what do they actually do, and how can you become one. And I will have a dialogue with the person number 300 in the world of machine learning and data science. Now, if you're new here, let me quickly remind you who I am, and then we're gonna get started. My name is Sergii Khromchenko, and I'm a software QA engineer, lead manager, and a senior engineering manager of SDAT in the past, but these days I'm helping people like you to become a tech professional from scratch or to improve your existing skills. Now, let's kick it off. Alrighty, Ihor, can you please introduce yourself and give us a couple of words?
I'm Ihor. I'm ML/AI tech lead. I have more than 10 years experience in IT in general, different positions, and specifically more than 5 years in ML/AI or data science. I'm Kaggle competition expert. Kaggle is quite a big platform specifically for ML and data science competitions. Also, one of them was in top 300 worldwide across approximately 200,000 of attendees of this Kaggle platform. And because of that, because I had a lot of different experience, I'm actually all around the ML. I've been in computer vision, I've been in natural language processing, in bit even in audio processing, in classical ML, and all of the areas basically.
You said you were person ML engineer number 300 in a Kaggle worldwide machine learning competition, right?
Yep, exactly.
Holy guacamole. Well, you're one of the smartest people on this earth. Awesome. All right, let's kick it off now. Let me quickly share my screen, and I will share the results of the research that I've done, and we will show you 5 most popular and 5 best tech professions this year. But I will share it right after I will tell you who is sponsoring today's video. Working with AI apps, databases, and tools can get messy. Different systems, endless conflicts, nothing talks to each other. That's exactly why there is a StormMVP, a universal adapter that lets you connect LLMs, databases, and custom tools instantly. It's fast, open source, and enterprise ready. So whether you're a solo dev building your next project or part of the company scaling AI infrastructure, StormMVP just works. Want to simplify your AI workflow? Check out StormMVP, the fastest ways to connect, customize, and monitor MCP servers. The link is in the description right below this video. So number 1, I've done a research, literally a couple of days ago, I've done a research on my own, and I've researched most popular jobs in the world of tech, and I did measure them by the amount of job openings, by the amount of layoffs, and I gave each of them points for the layoffs and openings, and I rated them based on the amount of points. So number one, the most popular, and the number one, the least amount of layoffs profession in the world as of today is what actually Ihor is doing. It's a machine learning slash AI engineer. And that's a top choice because it has the highest demand and lowest layoffs due to AI boom. The second most popular one is cybersecurity. And then we have data science, because data and AI synergy moderate risk from automation. Pretty much data science is very much related to AI and machine learning, and Ihor will explain it to us in a few minutes. But also we have QA engineer number 4, because it's because of the stable testing roles, low layoffs but mid demand. And finally, number 5 is a product manager. By working as a product manager, you're pretty much becoming a small-sized CEO. You're not creating a startup, but you're creating idea. You're creating ideas for features, which in future can become their own startups. So that's why product managers are still in high demand, even though you can see a lot of layoffs. Throughout the entire year, it was 12.5 thousand in 2025. And the amount of job openings equals to only those that are open today, not the whole year. So throughout the year, there might have been 70, 100,000 of job openings, but right at this moment, as of today, we have 7,000. All right. So, and
Nice.
we're going to discuss today, we're going to discuss actually three of these professions: MLAI engineer, data scientist, and a QA engineer. And if you want to learn more about product management, I'm going to leave a link right below this video. Now, I'll stop my screen share and we're going to discuss three professions. Ihor, first of all, you're ML and AI engineer. And I know there's a data science, there are data scientists. And what I've heard is those professions are intertwined. It's not like there's a data science and there is a ML,
That's
right?
exactly right. Yes. And to be said, so my official role, AI tech lead research in data science, which basically kind of fancy words, right? But that's exactly saying about the state of the field. The field is evolving so quickly that we don't really have clear understanding, like especially between all the job titles, standardization. And yes, we do have this. Most of the biggest companies like Google, Microsoft, they do have these roles like pretty differently, especially data science versus machine learning.
What is at the base
So,
level data science? Sorry. What, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people
okay,
don't understand that.
we have this whole like field of artificial intelligence. Basically, that's
Mm-hmm.
about everything related to simulation, some kind of intelligence, usually like human-based intelligence, but who knows? So that's from just rule-based algorithms to most modern LLMs and stuff. That includes everything. Inside of it, we have the most common type of like this artificial intelligence, most common subfield, which is machine learning, which is what all the hype is about for this decade. Basically, machine learning is about learning from data. We give data to some algorithm on input, and then on output, we would receive some kind of set of rules or set of like basically ML model that could decide without our interaction what should be the output for your like future data. Then inside machine learning, we have basically neural networks and deep learning. Deep learning is basically neural networks at scale. What is neural networks? It was inspired by human brains. Technically, it's totally different, but it was inspired by human brains.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a way to process the information in layers. So in like neural networks, we have layers with artificial neurons that process information at scale. And deep learning is basically neural networks with a lot of such layers of neurons. What this is about? This is about solving very complex tasks because we have
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these artificial layers that basically small mathematical functions. We
Okay.
could process super complex data. And inside of the deep learning, we have modern LLMs. We have like all of the fancy stuff you could hear about. All of the hype is about deep learning, basically. And you could see that data science, it heavily overlaps
Impact.
with all of these fields.
A lot of people from this YouTube channel have asked me to help them to improve their English and their pronunciation as they want to become tech professionals, but English is not their native language. So especially for people like you, I did open up this YouTube channel where you can learn and improve your English and particularly articulation completely for free. You can find the link right there. Let's continue. Let me ask you a question. If I understood it right, so data scientist is a person who's using machine learning as a tool to get data outputs that data scientist needs for the business. Pretty much, if I'm a data
Exactly.
scientist, I would have to use machine learning tools or machine learning on its own in order to analyze data and get the results and deliver it to business so the business could make business decisions based on that data, right?
Exactly. That's true. That's exactly about the business insights from the data. The naming is totally wrong.
Yeah.
Data scientist in one company could mean AI engineer in another company, could mean ML engineer in third company.
Let me ask you a question about becoming a specialist. Because on this video, we want to compare QA automation engineers, not even QA engineers, but QA automation engineers, because there are not many manuals at the moment, data scientist and machine learning specialist. I'm teaching people, I'm helping people to become QA automation engineers completely from scratch or to improve their skills. And we have a course where people go through 5 months and a half of education to become QA automation engineer. And on average, it takes 2 months after they finish the course to get a job offer. And I have a video that explains that literally right here. You guys can check it out. There was a report for the 2025, and you could see how many people got job offers, how long did it take them, how many interviews they had to go through, even how many job applications they had to send, and how much money finally they're making right now. I want to compare that, and I want to let everyone who's going to be watching this video or listening to this podcast help them to find out what's the best profession to go with if they are newbies, for example, or if they're already some sort of the tech specialist, I don't know, tech support, key engineers, etc. Let's imagine two cases. Yep. Case number one, we have a QA automation engineer. As a lot of our viewers from this YouTube channel are already QA automation engineers. They have job or they have not. Yep. They don't have it. Let's say they have basics of test automation, maybe with JS, maybe with Python, but it should be enough. Even if you're good with JS or TS, you can quickly switch to Python without any problems, right? So let's imagine I am a QA mid-level QA automation engineer, and I want to become data scientist or better off machine learning specialist.
I would say optimistic scenario is actually right, like after 3 months. So if you put your learning in a really structurized and like prioritized way, you could learn ML fundamentals and start with that and already find a job. Because right now the demand is actually quite crazy, and you could land a job even after you learn 3 months. But and that's again coming back to your question of what is like on number one C, ML fundamentals. Like after you know Python, it's ML fundamentals. We could discuss what ML fundamental is, but baseline, you should have this fundament. That's an optimistic scenario. More realistic scenario, I would say, would be maybe 6 to 9 months to learn. Like 6 to 9 months to learn, because yes, the field is crazy, but you do need to understand different stuff, and especially it's not about understanding, it's about building. You need to project-based learning, I would recommend.
So from 3 to 9 months.
Yes, learning, and maybe a few months for landing a job.
What we're seeing in our bootcamp is some people go through 5 months and a half of the course, but they get a job offer even before they finish the course. Do you think that would be possible in this case as well?
Yeah, for sure. Because again, what you mentioned that we have someone who already knows like what is IT is about, already knows some automation, like how to program, right? That's great. That way, and especially if you just learn something, you have this learning mindset. It is way easier to go like a bit faster. But definitely, if you know your stuff well, if you did some projects, if you have this portfolio, it's way easier to find a job if you have this kind of realistic portfolio. Sure, it could take 9 months, but if you really learn, if you really build, if you really apply your knowledge and apply to some like job openings, then yes, it's possible.
And before we talk about complete newbies, let me quickly tell these people that Ihor and I are going to be running a free webinar and talking about these tech professions and how to get to them every couple of weeks. So I'm going to leave a link right below this podcast in the description. Feel free to join us. And now let's talk about complete newbies. Imagine we have a person who is not a QA automation engineer, maybe tech support, maybe a person who knows just a little bit of what's happening in the world of tech, but no coding at all. How long would it take that person to become a data scientist or machine learning specialist? And would you recommend complete newbie to go to it, or would you recommend it to get different profession that is easier to get into, and that then get into data science and machine learning?
That's a really good question and a really tricky question. I'm a bit biased, like machine learning engineer, right? And so I would love people to learn machine learning, AI, data science, whatever. Again, but I do realize that for total newbies, that could be a bit harder threshold to pass to actually become like to get a job, to become data scientist. It's super rewarding, but you need to go there. You need to go there, and well, because here we are at at this interview with you, and you have QA courses, and you actually like show that graph. I would mention that QA is still really a nice opportunity to go into AI. Generally speaking, I would say it's hard to go into ML if you have no experience at all. Maybe it's easier to go into QA first.
Mm-hmm.
But again, maybe I'm just a bit biased. But I do think that if you see the value, if you see the potential, if you are really like interested, if you kind of understand what's going on, why ML is important, and why go into ML, then yes, maybe you could learn some Python, do some like I don't know online intercourses or whatever,
Yeah.
get just a minimum amount of knowledge and
Mm-hmm.
experience to get started, and actually you could try yourself. I cannot say that come on, you cannot do this. Everyone can do this if you put enough effort, if you put enough like passions
Exactly.
into this, and if you understand that this is your journey, you're not
Mm-hmm.
chasing the hype. You don't need to be like an engineer in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You need to be in this area for a longer period. You could allow yourself this slow growth.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally fine.
I will definitely say that it, if you are technically strong without learning programming, you just know that hey, I can figure things out easily no matter where. I became, I don't know, mechanical engineer on my own. I've learned how
Exactly.
to pull out an engine from the car. You can freaking do that. I can definitely tell you that. Awesome. That makes a lot of sense. So it's much more challenging. For majority of people, it would be easier to get somewhere else, learn it. That's what actually I usually tell people when they ask me if they can become machine learning engineer or software developer. I'm like, yo, it's awesome. And I'm going to give you advice not because I actually run a QA bootcamp, but because I understand it from a human perspective that it is much easier to become a QA engineer versus software developer versus machine learning engineer versus data scientist because you have to learn the same ML. So my advice for newbies is to get somewhere where it's easier. It could be QA. I don't know what else it could be. So you would learn a little bit of coding, and because if you go into design, it's a different thing. And if there are many less designers will be needed very soon because of AI. If you go to product, it's a different direction. By the way, we can also help you to become a product manager if you would like to, and I'll leave a link right below this podcast. But generally speaking, for majority of people, it's much easier to get into K and then transition to machine learning. And you actually did teach a couple of people in the past,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, right?
really true. I agree with every word of that. And I do have a few cases that I actually mentored, teach, and that would be actually my two notes. One point is that yes, it's way easier to go from like some technical position to machine learning than from scratch maybe. And I have this case when I teached QA engineer, she already had the offer. She already had the job as a machine learning engineer.
Oh, wow.
She took an offer in like middle level position because she had a lot of experience in IT, in quality assurance automation.
ML engineer.
Mid-level, yes.
After
Exactly.
QA automation engineer position.
Exactly.
I
That's
gotta
one
record a
case.
video with her.
That's so first point is yes, it's easy to go from QA engineer or from any technical position you have right now in IT to machine learning. Second point is the domain matters. If you already have some domain, that's a really, really great bonus, or not even bonus, a major point in your resume if you're switching to machine learning. That's not everyone realize, but this is super important. If you already have some domain where you want to stay, you just don't like your job. Maybe domain is nice, but the job is not really. Then you could apply ML to this domain. You could learn ML techniques. You could learn how to apply those techniques to your domain. And you're already not a beginner level specialist. You're already a very like highly valuable specialist knowing this domain and knowing machine learning, right? Yes, like technical side, maybe you would need more practice, but you are not like overall, you are not an entry level specialist. You are higher, way higher. That was another case where I was helping another girl going to like machine learning. Her case is also really unique. She was working for a lot of years, kind of in analytics, mostly like business analytics. So it was really like great. But then she decided, okay, I need to grow. And then she asked me, can you help? We went through exactly like same program and project-based learning, I would call it. What happened? After she learned everything needed, after she had all the portfolio on this and all the knowledge required, she applied to multiple positions. And funny enough, in entry-level data, like scientists or machine learning positions, it was hard to get in because like the field is hot, but a lot of applicants want to apply there, want to go there. But she found a position where she could be something in between business/data analytics and machine learning, like data scientist. And guess what? She got a senior position.
Senior
because
position.
of her experience. Exactly.
Previous
Senior
experience.
position. Yes, previous experience, domain expertise matters a lot.
So this sounds like if I'm a farm boy, which I was, I took a tech boot camp, and then if I would go work for John Deere, I could become senior QA engineer because I was senior farmer already, and now I've learned tech skills, so I could become a senior QA engineer, right?
Kind of, but ML, senior ML
That's
engineer.
interesting.
But yes, if you are a farm boy, if you have a lot of this experience, you actually realize what is so-called pain points of business. That's super important to realize. There are like so much work in agriculture, ecology, law, in
Everywhere.
in medicine, in like every industry you could apply machine learning. And actually that fascinates me. I know today I'm interested in this area, and tomorrow I want to try another area, and I can actually I can work in music, I can work in medicine if I'm interested, because guess what? I do have machine learning. So that works both ways. You have a domain and you could just add machine learning, but that also works in another way. You have machine learning and you could add domain.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that answer. Now, I wanted to quickly remind you, all of our watchers and listeners, that we're running completely free 1 hour to even to up to 2 hours webinars where we share this information and where we discuss it with you directly, all about machine learning engineering, about data science, about QA engineering, or about product management paths. So if you're interested to learn more about those careers and how you can become one, simply join us by following the link right below this podcast. Thank you, Ihor, for your time and all of our listeners, and
Thank you,
I
Sergii.
shall see you soon.